Hi there, my name is Leela and I'm here today to share with you my top 20 transformational time management tips. Now, as a women's health coach and a midlife woman myself, I understand the pressures that we face when it comes to trying to wear the many hats that we have to wear, from being a parent, a partner, looking after aging parents, holding down a job, running the home, running your own business, achieving your own aspirations, your dreams, your goals. All of those suck up a huge amount of time. And whilst some people might argue that women can't have it all, I strongly disagree. Yes, we can have it all with effective time management strategies. So top time management strategy number 1, set yourself a timer. Now, I do this for everything. When I sit down to do a piece of work, I don't just sit there and start working away. I allocate time to that task and I will set my timer. Not only does this mean that I'm kind of nudging everything forwards because I've set a specific amount of time for each task, I can also plan in time to take a break, go and eat, things that sometimes get forgotten when we get really, really busy. I set a timer to clean the house. So I will give myself 15 minutes to blitz what I can in that 15 minutes. I call them mini sprints. So how much can you do in 5 minutes? How much can you do in 10 minutes? And it's amazing when you set yourself a timer, how productive you can be. Time management tip number 2, block out your time and do this for everything, for every aspect of your week. If you don't, the risk is that you end up giving too much time to certain things and not enough time to others, i.e. not enough time to your kids, your family. Be really strict about those boundaries. Not only does this help to get all of the critical things that you need to get done in a week and that you remember to do things and that you have time allocated to do things, but this is also a really good way of seeing where your time is taken up and maybe how you could better manage your time. Time management tip number 3, change the language that you use when talking about time. You know, let's face it, there is not enough time ever to do everything that we need to do, and that's reality. But when we talk about time in that way, I just don't have time, there's just not enough time. That's not about time, that's about how you're prioritizing your time at that point. So change the way you talk about time so that you're not using negative language, that yes, I do have time, I just have to find the right time that suits me, a time in my week where I can give it my best attention. Time management tip number 4, multitask, but only on kind of low brain power tasks. So for example, if you are out on a walk, make a call that you need to make whilst out on your walk. Equally, if you need to make a call and you can't get out of the house for whatever reason, have a walk around the kitchen, rack up some steps. Listen to a podcast while you're in the bath, or listen to the podcast while you're out on a walk. Listen to a podcast while you're in the car driving somewhere. Try and avoid multitasking on things which require 100% of your attention. So for example, you know, you might be on a call, in a meeting, on a Zoom meeting, try not to be responding to emails at the same time, or when you should be perhaps looking after your kids and it's too easy to just end up on your phone doing some work. Transformational tip number 5, learn to say no. And this is something that as women we find very, very difficult. But what we need to do is make sure that we're not burning out, giving all of our energy to everyone all of the time, because then there's nothing left for us. Now this takes practice and comes with experience, but the more that you can say no to the things that you don't have to do yourself, or you don't physically need to be there yourself, that perhaps you can delegate to somebody else, or you can reprioritize, or maybe move or reschedule, then the more time you're going to have for the really important tasks that do need your time. Time management strategy number 6, batch things together. Now, this could be work related or it could be home related. So for example, batch cooking. This is something that I do pretty sporadically, but I tend to batch loads. And sometimes what I cook can last me a good couple of months. Batch cooking your meals is a great way of making sure that you're providing nourishing meals for your family, but without having to slave away over the stove every evening. And again, you can do this with your work. So for example, if you're a business owner and you've got social media posts to write and schedule, try and do them all at the same time. Batching your tasks together is a great way of creating a bit more time efficiency. Time management tip number 7. Every week, either maybe on a Friday or a Sunday, review the week ahead. So in one of the earlier tips, we talked about time blocking. Now, again, it may be that you've got a one-off event that forthcoming week, and therefore how you've time blocked your time, it's not going to work that week, so you need to move things around. And again, this is a great way of really reprioritizing as well. So maybe looking ahead at the week, realizing that some things that you did have planned that you could move, reschedule, or no longer need to happen. Time management tip number 8, take calls on a walk. I kind of mentioned this earlier before, but this is a great one, and I do this all the time. I always ring my mum when I'm walking down on the school run, and it's a really good way of managing your time and getting some exercise. Equally, you could schedule a call for when you know it's maybe just before lunch or just after lunch, when it's a good time for you to go for a walk. Again, 2 birds, 1 stone. Time strategy number 9, block out family time. Now this is really important, and this should be a non-negotiable, no ifs, no buts. That is time for you and your family. And it might be that has to flex each week depending on how that works for your lifestyle, or it could be a consistent rule that you apply that just never, ever, ever gets broken. So for me, Saturday, Sunday, that is family time. And I might dip in. So for example, my daughter today is out with some friends, so I'm doing a little bit of work today. But if she was here, I wouldn't be working. So really, really strict boundaries when it comes to family time. Nothing gets in the way. Time management tip number 10, make time for you. And this is really, really important. Now we're all different. We all have different needs. We all have different things that help to relax us. Whatever your thing may be, and however it might work for you in your week, time block some time for you to do the things that you need to inject some energy back in you, to restore you, to revigorate and re-energize you. And again, it's a non-negotiable. A bit like your family time, that time never ever gets replaced for something else. Time strategy number 11. This is an odd one, but bear with me. Multi-use clothing. Now, this is going to depend a little bit on your job. Now, I teach and I also work from home. So I try not to have multiple changes of clothing per day. So in the morning when I get up, I put on because I always teach in the morning, so I put on my clothes that I'm going to teach in. I have a t-shirt on or a top on that if I'm coaching a client, I can just put on a jacket, or if I'm got a Zoom call with a corporate client, for example, I'll put a jacket on over the top of the t-shirt so it's a little more formal. But I'll obviously, in the bottom, I'll just still have my fitness leggings on. I put my sports bar on every morning. So again, because I tend to run 5 days out of 7, if I have a run that day, again, I don't need to get changed. I go out for my run, and then in the evening, I have my shower, and then I'm ready for bed. So try and make sure that you've got not changing several times a day. Time strategy number 12, review your to-do list and consider the 4 Ds. Do, delegate, defer, dump. And every week when you review that to-do list, I want you to consider each task on that list and put it into one of those categories. And it's amazing over time how much better you'll get at dumping stuff that really doesn't need to be done. Time management tip number 13, buy dry shampoo. I kid you not. Don't get me wrong, if you've been sweating in the gym, then oh, that's gross, wash your hair. But particularly if you are just working from home, if you're working online, you're not really seeing anybody, then save yourself the time. Bit of dry shampoo, nobody will ever know. Time management strategy 14. Manage your day, your time to best suit you. We're all unique in how we work and how effectively we work at different times of the day. Yes, you've got the 5 a.m. club that, super productive before most people have even tucked into their cornflakes. But if you're not a morning person, that is never ever going to work for you. And it's the same with anything. If you know that you exercise better in the evening or in the afternoon, then do your exercise then. If you know that you are most productive once you've had your 2 morning coffees and your breakfast, so come 10 o'clock you're absolutely on it, then when you're scheduling when you're planning out your time and time blocking, schedule the stuff that needs the most amount of brain power for those tasks. Equally, stuff that doesn't really require much brain power, like maybe tidying up the house or doing a bit of cleaning around the house, schedule that for times when you know that you're a little bit more brain dead. Time management tip 15, eat the frog. So this is really great for productivity. If you're somebody that has a tendency to, on your to-do list, push the things down that you know that you don't like, but you know have to be done, and perhaps you end up doing them at a really time critical moment when it is the last possible opportunity to do it, then each day when you go about starting your day, eat your frog. Do the thing that you know you least want to do for that day. Time management tip number 16, automate as many of your daily tasks as possible. Get your food shopping delivered at the same time every week, if that helps. You can schedule it in, book it in. Get your ironing picked up and delivered back home. Get any medication ordered online instead of having to go to the pharmacy and collect it. Set up standing orders for bills that you know you need to pay rather than having to remember to go and pay them each month. And all these little time hacks eventually will accumulate to a big saving of time. Number 17, set yourself 3 to 5 priorities a day. One of them being your frogs. But 3 to 5 things that you need to get done that day. And that sense of achievement when you're staring at your huge to-do list and feeling overwhelmed and thinking, oh my goodness me, when you chip away at those 3 to 5 priorities, if you extrapolate that out over a year and you did 3 tasks every day, that's over 1,000 tasks that you've completed in a year. So give it a go. I can guarantee not only will it help that overwhelm of looking at your to-do list, but it will give you that real sense of satisfaction at the end of each day. Time management tip number 18, analyze your screen time. Now, obviously with everything now on our phones, from every possible social media platform, we can disappear down a wormhole. Starts off watching one reel and then the next thing we realise we've lost half an hour just scrolling. So have a look. Your phone will be able to tell you how much screen time you've used and whether that was work or whether that was just scrolling. And again, set yourself boundaries with your phone. So if you like a scroll, that's fine, but make sure that that's at times that you control and times that you're prepared to give to do that, and not just another time wasting activity. Number 19, when you know that you have a task to do that perhaps requires some focus and concentration, try and take yourself somewhere where you know that you're not going to be interrupted. Because when we're constantly interrupted, it breaks our flow of thought and creativity, can obviously make us a bit stressed and aggy, and then the work doesn't get done and it's a waste of time. So try and take yourself somewhere where you can really focus. Again, set your timer so that you're allocating time to that task, giving yourself a bit of a break at the end, and you can't go too far wrong. And then finally, number 20, it kind of linked to the previous one, number 19, turn off notifications on your phone, because they will literally steal your life. They will literally drain your energy. And this is really important. This is not just because of time and you being sucked away from the task that you should be focusing on at that point. And last but not least, time management tip number 20, turn off notifications. All notifications on your phone, on your desktop, your emails. Again, time block to go into your emails and respond to your emails. Time block to go onto Facebook and check your messages and respond to messages. Don't just be drawn in. This is a tip that I learned years ago working in business, when you would have your emails ping into your inbox. And sometimes it might be a negative email. It could be a customer complaining about something. And so you see it, and even though you know that you shouldn't be drawn in, it's incited an emotion, and and it can completely derail you in that moment. And it's the same with messaging, you know. Fine, obviously, if you need people to be able to reach you, your children or whatever, have your phone on loud so you can take calls, and make it clear to people that if they need to reach you urgently, not to message you, to call you. Because that will get your attention, but have notifications of messages, emails, social media notifications switched up. Thank you for listening. I hope you found some of those helpful, practical tips that you can weave into your life. I realize you might not be able to adopt them all, but tips that you can integrate where appropriate into your life that hopefully will help you capitalize on the time that you have available and leave you feeling a little less overwhelmed. My name is Leela. Follow me on social for more tips and hacks.